to this meeting of the Historical and Architectural Review Board for Wednesday, October 1st. First on the agenda is a call to order. Second is the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next on the agenda is the approval of meeting minutes for August 6th. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Approved.
All those in favor? Aye. Meeting minutes are approved. Now we can get into the applications for board review. First, we have HARB 2025-11, 323 Midland Avenue. I think this is the third time for this one. So if you'd like to come up, share the latest round of changes, specifically those details that are visible externally briefly, and then we'll discuss as needed.
So as you noted, here for 323 Midland, under new owners, Allison and Christopher Colmer. So
Okay.
the previous two applications were under a previous owner.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Different architect, different owner, different project. The proposed addition to the structure here is solely at the rear of the main massing of the existing dwelling. Proposed structure is 2 stories. First floor is going to be kitchen, mudroom, and family room. On the first sheet, you can kind of see the dark shaded area.
Oh, real quick, can you put the plans on the table there, and then we'll have is our camera going? Yeah, that way we can.
Good? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
There you go. And just kind of walk through it as you're describing it. Thank
Yep.
you.
So, as mentioned, there's the proposed addition is at the rear of the main body of the house. You can see kind of the original rectangle of the house here. And then to the rear, the dark shaded area is the proposed increased footprint to the first floor level there. The lighter shaded areas here and here are single-story open porches. And then the hatched area, the diagonals, is proposed second floor area there to the rear. So matching the existing side yards on the right and then conforming to the 25-foot requirement on the left-hand side. And the existing front of the home would remain as is, untouched. Moving to the next sheet, we look at the proposed rear elevation. If you're familiar with the home, the front of the home has basically one large gable coming off of a gambrel kind of cross roof with 2 gable dormers coming off. So we're trying to extend the second floor and first floor utilizing the same pitch of those front gables, which is about a 14-on-12, and extending those toward the rear, capturing that space above, while also tying into the main massing of the 2.5-story structure as it is now. So looking at the left side here, we've got the open porch here on here, outdoor fireplace with a chimney extending up, stone on the base to match the existing house. First floor is currently a mix of painted white clapboard and painted white stucco. We're choosing to go with the clapboard. I'm not sure. It's a little bit of an anomaly on this house. There's one on the front, one side is stucco and the other side is clapboard. So try to match that on the base, and then the sidewall shingles will be painted to match the existing as natural cedar. All windows would match, trim to match, roofing would match, and then the proposal is on the porches to do more of a metal standing seam roofing on those units there. And then as well, you can see kind of the detailing along here with the, in this case, I'd probably do PVC brackets versus a wood bracket, but the intent is to match the overall existing style of the home and try and make a uniform aesthetic out of the addition here. The dormer that sheds off of the main gambrel, the upper portion of the gambrel, currently it is shorter in here, kind of this triple window that you see noted as existing in here. The proposal is to extend that across here as with the second floor addition, we're taking some windows out of the current stairway, so we'd be adding some windows into the interior stair to keep some natural lighting within that space there. The mudroom basically stays in the location it is now, just kind of extending further back to allow for more kitchen and pantry area on the interior. Moving to the left side elevation, which faces east, you can kind of see the original massing of the gambrel structure here, and then there is a slight step back in relief when we move from that massing into the proposed addition at the rear. So the proposal is to extend that roof line above the second floor here, plated down at about 6'6" to kind of bring down the scale closer to where the gambrel is plated, just to make it feel a little bit smaller there, and then dormer out the shed dormers as we need to for the space in the interior, and then hip the roof off for the patio on the rear. There's a proposal here to put in an additional window here to balance out the elevation. Currently, there's nothing in that location. Moving to the right side elevation, the main section up front remains unchanged. There was a previous elevator addition that was done at some point, which would remain untouched, and then the proposed addition here kind of gets tucked behind the original massing of the house. Materials all match as proposed. Moving to page 5, these are proposed renderings of the rear corners, back, right, and left of the house. As you can see, it kind of ties in with the original architectural style of the home. And then next sheet, page 6, is the photos of the existing house. So flipping back and forth between page 5 and 6, you can kind of see we're trying to really hammer home and match up what is existing on the property now. Just moving to some other photos of surrounding neighborhood, adjacent houses in the neighborhood, some stacked cascading shed dormers off some of these roofs that we're kind of playing off of a little bit there. But mainly the bottom right is 318 Midland, which is just kind of catty corner across the street, and kind of utilizing that massing off the back there. You can kind of see off the rear here, they have a 2-story addition here up at the second level, and then roof plating up above that. So a lot of the surrounding homes in the neighborhood kind of have that 2-story structure, extended off the rear.
Great. Maybe I'll begin. I think this is quite a thoughtful way of adding on. You're adding a good bit of mass to the house, but in a way that I think is fully sympathetic with the existing design. A lot of the specific elements you pointed out, the overhanging eaves, the brackets, things like that, and the materiality matching, I thought was a nice touch. And then I think confirming the top of the new roof line is going to be no higher than the existing cross gable.
That's correct.
Right. So you won't really. Nothing's going to protrude above, and you won't see that from the street. So I don't know. Personally, I think this makes sense as an addition. I'd love to hear what my colleagues feel.
Well, I drove by, and the house to the left, stage left and stage right, both have similar additions on them. And so this is not out of scale or out of tune with any of the, it's in harmony with what's already there in the neighborhood as well.
Sure.
I'm surprised you don't have pictures of those. But yeah, and the details in the window treatments and the extra window for balance make great sense.
I'm curious, the stucco on the front, is it pebble stucco?
It is, yeah.
I'm curious if it's underneath the flat siding on the other side.
I don't know. I was out there today and measured thickness on walls, just to, from interior to exterior stone, just to be like certain on the construction. And on the clapboard side, we're at about like 6.5-inch thickness wall, interior to exterior, and then on the other side, it's almost a foot on the stucco side. So I don't know whether they went over it or based on the exposure, it started to rot, and they.
Different facade on the front of the home that you would see that different wall thickness?
No, not really. It just happens on the side. Yeah, kind of an outlier.
And then the setbacks, is it overall 35 feet for side doors?
Beyond that, yeah, 38 and change, yeah. Correct.
No, but
Do I have a motion?
I'll motion for a
Okay.
certificate of appropriateness.
I will second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you.
very much.
Next on the agenda, we have HARB 2025-12, 205 St. David's Court in Wayne. Just a little bit of foundational information. So this is the Walthamstow Stable, built in 1892 by Horace Trumbauer, built for J.B. Seibert. So if you'd like to go ahead and, discuss the plans. Yeah, thank you.
We've just finished a restoration of the existing stable, and this is the phase 2 of adding the garage to that space. And is it
Regards to the camera, would you mind rotating the model towards us so we could see it?
Can you see it that way?
My-
Coming down the
Yeah,
driveway this
yeah,
way.
perfect.
It's there. You're
Yeah.
welcome to hold it too. This was a little study so that we could look at
Yeah.
the scale of the two together, which is
Mhm.
what we thought was the most important thing. This project, because it's by Horace Trumbauer, this was probably the first thing he did in his career before the next 800 buildings, and he was about 21 years old. And so it's very significant in that this was the beginning. And it was built as a horse stable and a carriage stable. And it was a large structure, and it was actually an accessory building. And it's interesting that we are asking to do an accessory building to an accessory building. So the things that we are identifying that really matter to us is to protect what he's done and to preserve it and make sure that we don't, that we give it space and that we take this area that's in the front that's all macadam. A lot of macadam in the front. We want to return to a grassy garden in between in this space. So that space that is adjacent to the existing structure, we want that to be green. And we also want the garage to be diminutive, just as small as possible. So we're making every move that we can to make it less so that the stable can be tall and have a presence. The approach to this was, first of all, to do a single-car garage, not a double-car garage, and to keep it as low as possible, and to make it small with architectural moves like a jerkin head roof, which is pushing the roof back at the top, pushing the staircase that goes to the back on the side and away from the front, so the very front elevation looks as small as possible. As far as materials, what we would like to do is stay in character with Horace Trumbauer. Some of the work that we did on the back, we want to use 3/4-inch beveled siding and to miter the corners along the edge. We want to use custom garage front, true divided wood windows that we can paint a color of our choosing. What's very important is to be able to paint this structure so that it is analogous to the existing thing. And this is a really nice color. It's a pea green color. So we would like to mix the material so that we have a board and batten on the top, beveled siding on the bottom, a shingle roof, and beautiful windows. A little copper roof along the French door that leads across the garden to get into the garage, and that's about it. Do you have any questions?
I think just one question for me. I was curious about the choice of the board and batten on the new garage. Obviously, the horizontal sort of cedar siding communicates with what's on the existing structure, but I was curious what you're drawing on for the board and batten.
I want it to be vertical, but I want the battens to be very reduced because if I had my choice, it would just be sort of flat boards like a vernacular.
Yeah.
If we can do that, we're striving for that. If the material has to have the piece that combines those to keep the joint tight, we'll do that. If we can find that, or if we can detail it that way, that would be the goal. If we put a batten on it, I would make it flat. I would make it not the 2-inch that's very graphic, but 1.5 inches. I
Okay.
don't like the sort of manufactured
That's what I was getting at.
product
Okay.
look. No, we're not going to do that. It's sort of the same thing as the roof. If you notice, the roof that we put on the back, we took off one of those very commercial metal roofs that have the high standing seam, and we replaced it with a hand-forged copper so that the battens were no taller than 1 inch. So we're trying to make this, we have some really good craftsmen on this. So the same would be true for the little piece of copper that would be hand-wrought above that door. And then we have exposed rafter tails along this edge on the court side and also on the opposite side around the stair tower.
I appreciated that detail.
And we'd like to find an antique weather vane to put on the top. We are in search.
Great. Okay, thank you. Okay. Any other questions?
Just, I love the barn-inspired form, which is, you know, sensitive to the site's stable history, so it's a great presentation.
Thumbs up, too.
Great. Do I have a motion for a certificate of appropriateness?
I move for the certificate of appropriateness.
Great, I second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you so much.
Would you like to see some pictures? Would you like to see-
She has the pictures of the restoration of the
Sure.
original
Yeah,
barn,
absolutely.
which is very interesting.
Yeah,
Love to.
we're only 18 minutes in. We got a
Hi,
few.
I'm Cynthia Johnson, Cynthia Lee Johnson. I've been a resident of Radnor for over 40 years and my 2 kids went to Radnor schools, and my 6 grandchildren.
Oh, fantastic.
So we're longtime residents here. And I've been very fortunate to work with Melanie because we couldn't have done it without her. There were a lot of surprises with, you know, a 120-year-old house. One of the first things we did was we tried to get rid of the smell. There was a smell in the house, a terrible smell. And I thought I was the only one who could smell it, but it wasn't, because when we took off the floors, we found they were full of hay, and it had to be shoveled out. So then we took the floors out, and you can see in the top here, right-hand corner, I redid the front because it was all falling down. The earth was falling down. And one of our surprises was also, you can see a man, this is Joe down there. There was a pit underneath the master bedroom, which was the horses, I guess they would get washed. There was a trough, and then the water would go down the pit.
Is it a
Yeah.
drain or just a pit?
It was a linear trough from front to back.
Wow.
Right. So, so that was filled in. And then there was also an oil tank on the other side of it, so we got rid of that. Oh, this is this picture of the oil tank. The oil tank. And
Where
this
was
is,
the tank?
I know.
Where was it?
It was in the back, it was. where the-
Inside the footprint of the home?
No, right outside, outside though. Where the closet, the new closet is,
Got it.
where you see the green
The only
type to
place
that.
where we were building. That's where it was.
Well, we knew nothing about it. Then you can see on the top right here, you can see this was when we were renovating it, and we found lots of little animals in there, skeletons and stuff. So it was fun. It was a great, and we reused the floorboards upstairs, that were upstairs, and we made beams downstairs and rafters with it. So we tried to preserve everything. And again, thank you to my wonderful architect and the builders, McKenna Builders. They were excellent. This is, okay, we redid the kitchen, the master bedroom, which is downstairs, which is, there were 2 stalls here. This is one stall, and the other stall was here where we put the new closet. the living room, which you just saw the previous photograph up here, the living room, the dining room, and the little room upstairs. This house has no attic, no basement, and no garage. There's very little storage, very, very little. So anyway, it's been a fun project. It's been about 18 months, and I'm very grateful to everyone who's helped me. So this picture was taken yesterday with the new windows all the way here to the right, which brings in a lot of light into the living space, main living space. And then I put up a flagpole, which is my husband's flag, which he was given at Arlington National Cemetery, where he's buried. So, but thank you very much. I seek your approval, and I hope, if I can answer any questions.
Congrats.
I'm happy
Yeah,
to.
that's great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thank you for sharing.
Thank you. Well, we love Radnor.
And if more people would bring in architectural models, that would make our job a lot more fun.
That's easy, yeah.
Yeah, you're welcome to hold it this evening.
Yeah.
It helps, just
I
knowing
know.
what to do. You
I know.
see exactly the
Yeah.
relationship of the two together.
I know. Gosh.
Brings you back to your schooling days?
Well,
Yeah, that's right.
I've been doing it 40
Yeah,
years.
I was gonna say.
We
That would-
didn't ask how far back.
Yeah, I go 18 years back to that. That was fun. That's always fun.
You can see everything immediately.
10-year-old,
I
I
know.
love it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, answers a lot of questions.
Right.
What years did your kids go to Radnor?
Well, one son's 51, and the other one is 30, he's 42. And then I have 3 girls. One graduated 4 years ago, went to University of North Carolina. Second one goes to Notre Dame. Third one just was accepted at Vanderbilt. And then we have 3 little boys.
Great.
Yeah, a lot of.
And they all live, they
2
live
blocks.
within 2 blocks of each other in each direction.
Wonderful. Well, great. Well, thank you again. So before we adjourn, the next HARB meeting is scheduled for November 5th. Applications for the November meeting must be submitted on or before October 21st. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All right. We're adjourned.